Spend enough time on the streets in Nairobi and you start to get a full picture about what's going on. And many of those who have traveled in a matatu know that corruption is part of everyday life. This WhatsApp video went viral recently. It allegedly shows police officers resisting arrest by ethics and anti-corruption police officers after they were caught taking bribes on a major highway in the city. Kenyans will have seen plenty of these sting videos, but have you ever wondered how police have changed the way they take bribes to avoid this embarrassment? Much as the bribery still happens openly, one technique has helped make traffic police corruption invisible. Like any legitimate business that's growing, the next step in this enterprise of corruption is outsourcing. At street level, you will barely notice them, but draw back a little and see what's really going on here. This policeman stops this matatu for what seems like a routine check, only he doesn't check the vehicle at all. Watch out for this man in a green t-shirt. He stretches his hand into the matatu and a few seconds later gets handed wads of cash. The matatu then goes on its way. This man works with the traffic police. He has no interest in the condition of the matatus. He's there to collect on behalf of the police. In this second clip, the police officer looks like he's done with the matatu crew, only for this man to get out of the front seat of the matatu. He casually walks towards the policeman after the matatu has left. All of these men are the police's helpers. These men, often dressed in white shirts and black trousers, will collect on behalf of the police. Essentially, these are criminals put to work by the police supposed to enforce the law. But it's more than that. What we see at the railway's bus station is astounding in uncovering who else is involved in the business of bribery. Take this footage recorded in one morning at the station. It looks like any other chaotic morning. Everyone is going somewhere, except for these two guys. Who are they? What are they waiting for? His name is Peter Wambua Kioko. It's alleged that he is a plainclothes officer attached to the railway's police station. It makes sense to have an officer who can't be identified immediately at a station like this. Only Kioko isn't here for police work. Let's follow him. Here he is, meeting a matatu tout. A quick exchange of money and he moves on. Here he is again. And off he goes. He cuts through this crowd knowing exactly what he wants. And he gets it. Now let's go back. The man on the right is Abdi Hassan. His nickname in this part of town is Somali. Same as Kioko, he's alleged to be from the railway police station. Here he is, receiving money from a matatu tout. Here he is again and again. In another part of the station, we find this man, Chacha Ogutu, also alleged to be a police officer stationed at the railway police station. Just like the two before him, it's all about exchanges. Together with their helpers, they make a network of people who are just as busy as everybody else here, reaping where they haven't sown and doing it with business-like efficiency. But what does all this mean? Could all this footage just point to a corruption that's been accepted as a necessary evil? Is it a victimless crime? Not in the slightest. Remember what Steve, the matatu driver, said?
Unajua kama kuoverlap hiyo ni makosa kubwa sana. Sasa unajipanga kama kawaida tu venye inafaa, unaendelea na kazi.
Well, reckless driving, aided by police who take bribes to look the other way, kills.
The other bus was overtaken by another. This caused their driver to accelerate, and after...
I know someone who knows this for sure. Frida Maweu is my aunt by marriage and a godmother to my daughter. Auntie Frida, as I call her, knows firsthand what toll road accidents is taking on Kenyan roads. I'm here to talk about her late husband, Albanas Motiso. In usual fashion, one morning in 2015, he left their home early for a class he had enrolled in.
Around 5:58, I received his call telling me I've gotten an accident and it's a bad accident.
He called you?
He called me himself. How he narrated it later was that as they were waiting, he wasn't alone. I think there were about 3 or 4 other people at the stage when a matatu veered off the road and came picking them. And that's how he ended up having, bad fractures, internal bleeding. The matatu stopped, but the driver took off. So he left the matatu there, but he took off.
Once he got to the hospital, he went into surgery, waking up a week later.
I remember a friend of ours who works in Kenyatta calling me and telling me, Baba, Prince is asking for you. And I was, very encouraged that he had spoken for the first time. So I got there, I was very anxious, and immediately he saw me, he just said, it's been very long. How have you been? And where are the kids?
Uncle Motiso would undergo 6 surgeries in 3 weeks as doctors attempted to stop him from bleeding internally. He stayed strong up until surgery number 7.
And from there, I just told myself, maybe this is the last day I will see him.
Uncle Motiso passed away 2 hours after that.
Oh, what I ask, because for sure my husband will not come back, is at least the justice to be seen. And pray that our government takes it serious, that our roads are not misused, not by bad roads, not by, bribing part of it, because we have noticed all the deaths on our roads is either by bribing or overspeeding, overtaking. I hope this can be dealt with just like yesterday.
In a journalist's life, there are many things that you go through, but that was the hardest interview I've ever had to do. Not just because her story was sad, of course, because I'd never heard it before, even within a family setting. Okay. Okay. Thanks for showing me this, Auntie. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Uncle Motiso Albanas Maweu was my daughter's godfather, and he was a good man. But that was very hard. I can't imagine how hard it must have been for Auntie Frida to talk about that. I guess it just goes to show that, you know, the effects of corruption are everywhere, even in your home, even in places that you don't expect. And they are painful.
In the next episode of Inspector Fisi, how do we fix this? We ask the police and political candidates what can be done.
I've told you we have a problem, and remember, I'm a policeman.
It's a culture that we need to eradicate, and you can only eradicate if you enforce ruthlessly.
And if they can't or won't stop it, who will?